Hello, and welcome to a video by Highway Weather. In the following video, we're going to discuss the ways you can add rest stops to your journey. When planning road travel in advance, and especially for long distances, you'll likely want to account for a break or two here and there. Whether it's an hour or so break for a meal, or a fully rejuvenating overnight stay somewhere, Highway Weather has you covered. With our app, you're able to see exactly how a rest stop will affect the weather-related outlook for the rest of your journey, and you can adjust things accordingly. You can even strategically plan rest stops around inclement weather to possibly avoid less than ideal conditions entirely. And thus, you'll be empowered to make the most out of your rest stops and arrive at your destination refreshed, on time, and most importantly, safely. So let's get started. There are two ways to add rest stops in Highway Weather. You can add them from the Map tab, or you can add them from the Timeline tab. Let's go over the Map tab option first. After inputting your starting point and destination, setting your settings, tapping See Forecasts, and viewing your trip summary, you'll be brought to the Map tab. Next, either scroll along the map and tap the forecast point you'd like to add a rest stop to, or tap through each forecast point until you arrive at the one at which you'd like to stop. Notice the Rest Here button. This button option will be present for each forecast point with the exception of your starting point and destination. Once you've selected your rest stop point, tap the Rest Here button. The default rest period is 1 hour, but feel free to manipulate this as you see fit. Hit the plus button to add 1 hour increments to your stop, and hit the minus button to dial back the time of the stop, also in 1 hour increments. And to completely delete a rest stop, tap the X and it will be removed from your route. In this example, I plan to stay overnight in West Wendover, Nevada. So you'll see I'll arrive there around 9 p.m. on that Friday night. And since I'm not a robot and I'd rather not risk the need for consuming medically dangerous amounts of caffeine, I'm going to go ahead and allocate a luxuriously restful 9 hours before continuing my journey to Denver the next day. So take a look at the next forecast point. You'll notice the change in time, and you'll also notice the adjusted weather forecasts for each subsequent forecast point, all based on that rest stop I just input. And here's where you can get creative with your planning as long as your schedule allows for some flexibility. If you see there's upcoming weather you'd like to avoid, you may be able to strategically plan your rest stops to allow that poor weather to miss you on the road entirely. And if you are beholden to an unwavering schedule, you'll at least be in the know of what awaits you and you'll have ample time to prepare accordingly. The other section of the app from which you're able to add rest stops is the Timeline tab. The basic functionality of adding rest stops to forecast points and then adjusting them in 1 hour increments remains the same. However, some users prefer doing so from this intuitively sequential view in the Timeline tab. Stops added on either tab will display globally. So in other words, that means if you add a stop from the Map tab, it will display on the Timeline tab, and vice versa from the Timeline tab to the Map tab. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget that if you have further questions, feel free to check out our online help center at support.weatherroute.io. Or don't hesitate to email us at support@weatherroute.io. We're here and we're always happy to help. Thanks again for watching and arrive safely.